In this example, we will be finding the perimeter of a composite figure. The composite figure happens to represent a pool. So to find the perimeter of the pool, what we need to do is make sure that we can label all the sides of the pool. I can see that there are two sides that do not have side lengths already labeled. So let's see how we can figure out what those missing side lengths are. So let's first look at the very bottom. I can see that all the way across the bottom, the side length is 10 meters. If I look at the top, I see the side length at the very top is 2 meters. Now, if I were to imagine that going all the way across on the top was also a total of 10 meters, then the remaining section that does not have a label would have to be 8 meters long. And the reason I know that that's going to be 8 meters is because 10 minus 2 equals 8. So the small portion at the top that's 2 meters long combined with the missing portion would have to equal 10 meters. So the missing portion has to equal 8 meters. Now let's take a look at the side length that's labeled as 7 meters. And then let's look across the figure at the smaller side length that's labeled as 2 meters. Each of those side lengths are vertical side lengths. So I have from the top of the figure all the way to the bottom of the figure as being 7 meters. And then on the other side of the figure, I have the smaller vertical side as being 2 meters. So the missing vertical side would have to be 5 meters long because 7 minus 2 is 5. So now I have I have all the side lengths labeled. So I can find the total perimeter. So I'm going to add up all the side lengths that I have labeled, and there's 6 side lengths total. So I'm going to add together 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 2 plus 8 plus 5. Now, I also kind of want to show you here and take the opportunity to how to quickly add numbers mentally. So I like to think of groups of 10 if possible. So I see that the 8 plus the 2 would easily get me another group of 10. So instead of going from left to right, I'm going to group numbers in a way that makes it easier for me to add them in my head. So now I have 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. Then I'm going to group together the 10s. And at the same time, I'm also going to group together the 5 and the 2 because then I'll have a pair of 7s. So I have 7 plus 7 plus the 2 10s, which is 20. And the 7s give me 14 plus the 20, which gives me a total of 34. So the perimeter of the pool is 34 meters. Okay, on the next slide, we are going to see another figure that you are going to find the perimeter of. So let's take a look at this next image. Okay, so here is the composite figure, and you're going to find the perimeter of this figure. Now, this one is a little bit more of a challenge. You'll notice it has straight edges, and then it also has a rounded edge. Well, what you need to recognize is that rounded edge is really half of a circle. So I'm going to give you a little hint here before you go off and try to find the perimeter of this composite figure. To find the perimeter of the half circle portion of the composite figure, you will need the radius of that half circle. So let's highlight that radius. We'll do it in blue. So the radius of that half circle is going to be half of the straight side length across from it. So the radius of this half circle is 4 feet. Or you could think of the whole diameter as being a total of 8 feet. Now that you have that diameter, you can find the perimeter or the circumference of half of that circle. So I'm going to give you one other hint. I'm going to choose a different color for highlighting. So I'm going to use pink. The only side lengths that you want to consider when you're finding the perimeter is what's going to be along the outside. So there's 3 straight edges, plus you're going to find the perimeter or the circumference of that half circle. Now, notice the 4-foot radius or the 8-foot diameter, those are just used to help us find the circumference of that half circle, we're actually not going to include those in the perimeter. So that's my little hint to you. So when you upload your work, I kind of gave you some hints to get started. Have fun with this bonus question.